cases, all these are not relevant right now because we've reached a point where the numbers could be 5x or 10x of what is being tested, because you cannot test 1.3 billion people in one day to find out how many people actually. So these numbers are more maybe a little bit of a guidance for the administration, but I think it is time to shift to a place where educating people, I mean it's already been done, but I'm saying more stringently, because anything that you need to communicate in our country, you have to do it in 24 languages, so it is very hard. How to handle this, what level of symptoms, how to handle it, if you're asymptomatic, how to be. It is not necessary we should go on testing, because testing is irrelevant. Almost everybody has it all right now, already it's going there. If it is not there, it will get there in the next few weeks, because this is not something you can contain like that. You can only see how to boost your immunity, increase your lung capacity, what is the sensible things, what are the sensible things to do. And the few things that I mentioned, that you mentioned, of panic, frustration, fear, anger, none of these things are going to help us. Because this is not a time for grandstanding each other, this is not a time to point fingers at each other, this is a time to stand up. Not even as one nation, as one humanity, we need to stand up, because right now I'm here in the United States, well, everything seems to be normal, all the traffic is normal, commerce is going on, industry is going on, everything is going on. But it is just probably a question of weeks or maybe a couple of months before this virus, this particular variant that we are suffering in India, could be all over the world in no time, because you cannot contain it like that within a country. National borders are not a limitation for this. So this is a time to really understand. This is a generational challenge. How are we going to come out of this? What are the simple things? Everybody should know what are the few simple things that they must do, rather than pointing fingers at each other, because it's an invisible enemy. It doesn't matter what the administration does, it doesn't matter what people do, what they think. It will spread, because you cannot really stop it. One simple thing I'm saying right from last 14 months, see, if only we had the necessary integrity and discipline, that we did so many weeks and weeks of lockdown, but they were only partially effective, because only a certain number of people actually follow this recommendations or enforcement. Because now we are no more calling it lockdown, we are calling it curfew in some of the places. So curfew means it has to be forcefully enforced. However much you enforce, it's not going to be absolute unless every one of us gets it. Well, that's a difficult thing to do, to make the entire population get it. I would say at least the urban population. If you make the entire urban population in India to understand 14 days, if you do not come in touch with any human being, if you just stay only with those one or two people who are not infected in your family or whatever, do not come in contact with anybody for 14 days, you would definitely drop it down. See, this is a war-like situation, let's understand this. When there is a war-like situation, that means there's an external enemy. That's what war means. But right now, the enemy is invisible, so let us bash each other. If this is the logic, well, we are definitely headed for a major disaster. Now when there is a war-like situation, at least when there is a war-like situation, irrespective of what we believe in, it's important for us to pool our resources and see how to come out of it. Let's be realistic. India as a nation definitely does not have necessary infrastructure to service 1.4 billion people, either in terms of hospitals or toilets or temples or streets or roads or ports. We don't have enough infrastructure. That's a reality which we are trying to change, which is a onerous task. It's not a simple thing, it's not going to happen overnight. Having said that, now you want to be angry with somebody. You can be angry. There is substantial medical evidence. I will show you our own institution in the Harvard Medical School has done a lot of research on this, clearly showing when you are angry, when you are agitated, when you are fearful, in these conditions, your immune system goes down, you become far more vulnerable. So right now the question is just this. We've gotten used to this. If something goes wrong, bash somebody. If something goes wrong, bash somebody. No, right now it is just this. Do you want to be part of the solution, or do you want to be a problem? Do you want to make a problem out of yourself? Now, one fundamental responsibility all of us have is that we stay healthy as individuals. We stay healthy and we stay alive. Now there are people in social media who envy people who are healthy, people who are doing well. No, this is not it. More and more people should do well. More and more people should be healthy. That's the only solution. Now people are openly saying, oh, my mother got infected, why are you going around happily with your family? These kind of talks are happening. Are we stupid? There is no question that if we go like this, we will make a complete disaster out of ourselves. It is time we pull up our sleeves and get to work in terms of what is needed. What is needed? Let's understand this. See, normally these kind of pandemics and epidemics are transmitted by other creatures like rats and mosquitoes and birds and whatever else. This time it's just us. Suppose, I'm saying just suppose, let us say this pandemic was being transmitted by the mice. What would be our plan? To eliminate all of them. Mass exterminate every mice in the country or in the world. But right now it's us. So we need to understand, we need to do something. Extermination is not the answer. But if we behave irresponsibly, extermination of a certain level or certain percentage of population will happen. I'm telling you, every day on my phone, people that I know, 15 to 20 people are dying per day. People, many close friends, relatives, my brother, one of my cousin brothers, all dead. And you know what, when they die, they send a message to me saying that please don't come because we don't have the body. And it seems the family went to the cremation ground where the hospital sent the body straight to the cremation ground. When they went there, 4 bodies arrived, all wrapped in white. All the 4 families who were waiting, none of them knew which is their body. They're just standing there gaping at all the 4 bodies, hoping they're looking at the right one, but they don't know which one is which. So I'm saying this is not a simple situation. Those of us who are still standing, we need to behave responsibly. Responsibly means that we must retain our ability to respond in a sensible and intelligent manner. This is not a time to react. Your anger, your frustration, your misery, everything is because you are reacting to the situation. This is a time, as a human being, you and me have to show what sort of human beings are we, what kind of generation are we. I'm saying, compared to what the previous generations have faced, this is a soft ball, believe me. If you were at the time alive at the time of World War II, World War I and various other things, you would know what I'm talking about. Well, if we have not seen it with our own eyes, we have seen it in documentaries, we have seen it in movies. Well, what they went through and what we are going through is nothing. As a generation of people, we have enjoyed the highest level of comforts and conveniences. Right now there is a challenge, and this challenge has many ramifications and many aspects of our life that needs to change. See, the problem with us is we are more dedicated to our lifestyle than our life. This is the problem. This priority has to shift. Okay, economy is going bad. Yes, I know it's going bad. Tell me what will happen for you or me. One important thing is, for me, life is important. I don't care about the lifestyle. Right now, if I traveled in United States, 2 years ago, I would be flying everywhere, staying in hotels, staying in the best homes, everything, because that's how things would be organized. Today, I'm driving a truck myself. I'm sleeping in the truck. I'm driving. This is a complete change of lifestyle. But don't be committed to your lifestyle. Lifestyle is a consequence of the times in which we live. It is the life that matters. So we have to ensure there is no loss of life. If this needs to happen, all of us should retain our ability to respond in the most sensible manner, not react in wild ways. And by grandstanding and pointing fingers at each other, you will only become part of the problem, not part of the solution. See, right now, our ability to reach people, whatever we have. Maybe there is somebody who just has reach for 5-10 people in their life, their family and a few friends. Well, I have a certain amount of reach myself. So all of us should do the best we can do to communicate what are the best practices, because that's all. That is all that will take us across. This hospital is not going to save us. See, a whole lot of doctors, especially in the United States, are clearly saying going to the hospital means you are increasing the risk of fatality. It's important that you manage yourself without making the symptoms very severe. There's a whole lot of things to do. Right now we put out a simple practice. Now doctors in UK and in Harvard University and also in India, many doctors have tested out this practice in the last few months, and they're all watching. This has made a huge difference in the oxygen levels, though their exposure is extremely heavy because they're out there. So we must understand right now. See, our volunteers, I've told them, go to the hospitals, general hospitals. You are at a little bit of risk, but we are providing them PPE kits and all this. I'm saying right now the important thing is to make this happen in the hospital. Those who go to the hospital, if you want to save their lives, we don't need too many doctors. We need a whole lot of nurses and paramedical staff. Do we have them? No, we are way understaffed, all right? We are way understaffed. Now, I am asking young people to go near the hospital and take over all the non-medical aspects, which the medical people were doing and wasting their time and doing those things normally. I said, do everything. Now we are there providing snacks, tea in the night, one meal somewhere in the evening, all kinds of things. Because support the medical staff. If they collapse, you had it. Your fatalities will jump at least 10, 25 times more. So this is very important. What is it? First thing is not to go to the hospital, what to do. We have simple, if you want, I will send you the concoction, you can put it out. We are putting it out on all our social media. There is a Siddha, this thing in Tamil Nadu, in the rural Tamil Nadu, we've contained it significantly. This is not a cure for the virus. This is not a vaccination, but it boosts your immunity. There is something called as kudinir, simple thing, a concoction of a few herbs that you drink, which definitely enhances our immune system. I would not say you will prevent it. You will still maybe get infected, but you can keep the symptoms so low that you don't have to end up in an ICU or something. Because the percentage of people entering ICU and coming out of it is unfortunately very low. Because once you go there, the fear of it, just being there alone by yourself, that itself will lower your immune system. You are lowering the defense mechanism in the body and becoming far more susceptible. So the best thing is to stay outdoors. When I say outdoors, people are walking on the Delhi street. No. Outdoors means go into the village, go into open fields, go somewhere, go into the mountains. I know people have to do their work, but there are many ways. Like I'm doing my work. Instead of staying in a hotel, staying in people's homes, I'm sleeping in a truck. I'm saying something you have to do. Something you have to do, and it's very important all of us continue our work to the extent possible, because crippling the whole activity in the country or in the world is not the answer, because that's going to take a much bigger toll on us. So it's very important to what extent, whatever the nature of work we are doing, to what extent we can keep it on without coming close to people, without getting infected. This is a fundamental responsibility. See, in Kannada, in Telugu and Kannada, there is a saying, Yuddha Kala Shastra Abhyasa. That means, when the battle starts, then you start practicing how to use your arms. That is not the way to be, all right? But now the battle has already come. What can we do? There are simple processes. I'm saying in this kind of situation, when people are just falling dead all around you, can you not invest 30 minutes to ensure your health and well-being, to do something about yourself? It is that simple. You don't have to go anywhere to learn. It's just on your phone. Can you not do that much? When you're throwing your breath out, talking to all kinds of people, abusing people, getting angry with people, stop the nonsense and do something about your breath, about your body, about your mind. For all these three things, we provided three aspects. One is called as Sashtang, which is so simple that you can do it in 7, 8 minutes, 12 minutes. There's another one called Simha Kriya, which just takes a few minutes. And there is Isha Kriya, which takes 12 minutes. I'm saying if you invest 30 minutes a day, or if you do it 2-3 times a day, believe me, your immune system will be higher, your oxygen levels will be higher. All tests have been done. Anyway, if you test in India, that also will become politics. So we have it all tested in US universities. Everybody is saying, very, prominent doctors are saying this is working like a miracle. But we are just losing our breath, talking to each other, abusing each other. It's time to stop this. This is not an ordinary situation. I'm going to repeat a few things because, first of all, this is a war-like situation. When there is a war, you don't think of your career, you don't think of your lifestyle, you don't think of other things. The most important thing is your life, staying alive through the period. Now, lifestyles may get set back. If these waves continue one after another, suppose, I hope it doesn't, but the kind of population we have, the kind of concentration of population we have, I hope it doesn't happen, but if it does happen, we must be ready for that. If it does happen, what is it that will happen to all of us? Maybe our lives, in terms of our lifestyle, will be set back by 15 or 20 years. 20 years ago, how we were living, with what we were living, we may have to live with that in the coming few years. Now, 20 years ago, were we such a disaster? No, we were much less than what it is today, but that may happen. So today, do not think of your lifestyle, think of life. Nobody in this country should die of hunger. We have to take care of that. We are doing a whole lot of work to ensure wherever people have lost their livelihoods, we are seeing how to provide food at that level. Distribution of government is doing it, but that's not enough for a whole lot of people. But we are giving grains, we are giving cooked food, all this stuff is happening, but it is not enough if one organization does it. It is not even enough if just the government does it. Every one of us need to see that life around us doesn't die, but lifestyles will be set back. We better be ready for that. Lifestyle will be set back if wave after wave it comes back. Right now, if this wave passes away in the next 4-6 weeks, as some people are making predictions, I do not know on what basis, but if it goes away, well, we will bounce back in our economy, maybe lifestyles will come back in no time. But suppose, as some of the scientists, responsible scientists are saying, that this could go on for 4 to 6 years. 4 to 6 years means across the world, our lifestyles will be set back. I am repeating this once again. I am sleeping in a truck. I had not done this for a long time. There was a time I first started work. I rode all across India on the motorcycle. I slept on the street side, I slept in the jungles, I slept on the culverts, on the bridge culverts many times through the night. People would say, won't you roll over and fall? Well, I didn't fall. But later on, I slept in a Maruti car for years. Well, today I'm back in the truck once again. I'm saying we should not be committed to our lifestyle. We must be committed to our life and all the life that is around us. This is a responsible way to go about it. Our lifestyles, we must understand, are not about us. It's about the times in which we are born. Suppose we were here 100 years ago, would we be complaining about those days' lifestyles? We were fine with it. 1,000 years ago, you and me would be in a cave and we would be fine with it. I'm saying, let us not get overly committed to our lifestyles. Life is important, either because of infection or because of hunger. Nobody should die in the country. That should be our commitment. That's what we should work towards. About mental situations that people are going through, well, WHO has predicted there is going to be a mental pandemic and a suicide pandemic. Unfortunately, in one country like Japan, which is a well-to-do nation, here in 2020, more people committed suicide than they died of COVID infections. So this may happen all over the place if we do not take charge of it. As India as a nation, as Bharat, we talk about our history is not just replete with kings and their conquests and stuff. Our history is full of sages and saints and yogis, always exploring inner well-being as the most important aspect. Why are we not making use of it? What is our problem? Our problem is we are looking for Western psychiatry. Please, there is a way. Within few weeks you can change the fundamental chemistry of who you are. There are simple ways. There is a practice, free, available to everybody, called Isha Kriya. Just start doing this, invest 15 minutes a day. It will change the way you are. If you do not learn how to keep your mind and body for yourself. See, right now if my hand starts smashing my face, what is it? Well, that would be ridiculous and a case of insanity, right? Right now your thoughts and emotions smashing you up, what is it? Please, this is the time to wake up. This is the time to dig yourself deep into the roots of the culture which has invested so heavily into inner well-being. At least the Indians should set the example. No matter what happens in our lives, we will stay equanimous, we will stay peaceful, we will come through any kind of situation that is thrown to us, either by earthly virus or aliens. We will come out of it successfully. This is something we need to demonstrate to the world. In many ways, the world is looking towards India for this. As a nation, it's my wish and my blessing that we must come out of this successfully, on top of this, stronger and better. And also as a humanity, this is the time for us to display what sort of human beings we are. Namaskar.